Okay, so we're about to set off for a trip to, first of all, Croatia, then through Montenegro down into Albania. The first stop, we're going to a campsite, camper stop Biokovo. It's 12 minutes, will be 4 stops, and it's 656 kilometres. So it's a fair old drive, but we're going to stay there for 2 nights. Just to sort of like have a day's driving, have a day's relaxing, go for a hike or something, have a look at the area, and then set off. And then we've got another overnight before we get down to Durrës in Albania. So you can see on the map here, we'll be setting off from just northwest of Lake Balaton there. Now, I could put some charge in, but I have to pay for that at home. Not a lot, but I have to pay for it. And I'm on free supercharging. So we'll stop off at Shawmash. It says we only have to stop for 12 minutes there, so we might stop for a bit longer, have a coffee. Then we'll come down into Jastrbasko in Croatia. And then it says Otočak. Now, that is not a good charger quite often, so I might stop somewhere else. I'll see that anyway. And then, of course, we're down to Split before we have to get to our campsite, which is just down here. Now, Split, you can see there's 4 available there. I think there's only 6. Yeah, there is only 6 superchargers there normally. It's way too busy. In the season anyway. I mean, out of season it probably does it fine, but in season, and this is the last week of July, it's bloody busy. So again, there's a couple of superchargers down here, and there's one just past the supercharger, just past where our campsite is. It's about 60 kilometres further down. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll try and get it right so that we can get charged up into any of those, rather than going into Split if I can, unless there's no waiting. But normally there's waiting times in the daytime. Now, when we get down Croatia, and then we go into Montenegro, just around here, and then we come down into Albania. Now, unfortunately, Montenegro, Albania, Kosovo, Bosnia-Herzegovina, none of them have Tesla superchargers. So I'm going to have to pay. There's a bummer. But anyway, I'm going to have to pay. But more worryingly, and it is giving me a little bit of stress, I've got to say, is the fact that I read online that there's very few rapid chargers in Albania and Montenegro. There tends to be 1 or 2 chargers at a spot, no more, and it's 50-50 if they'll be working. So it is a case of, if I see one that's working, I'm just going to stop for 10-15 minutes and put some charge in, I think. And we do obviously have the granny chargers, so we are on a campsite for 4 or 5 nights. I'm not sure which one it is now, maybe more, at different spots. So if necessary, I'll just plug the old granny in and try and get some charge that way. I'm sure we'll be fine, but it is a little bit stressful, because if I wanted to go Tesla supercharger, it actually sends me over from here on the ferry over to Italy, come further down, and then back into Albania, which, it's all right, but it's an expensive ferry, 200 odd euros each way, just to get a free supercharge. So I will be paying for the electric somewhere down here. There is a supercharger just down this bottom end of Croatia, Vigorovic or something. I've forgotten its name, but I'll find that. That'll be the last one before we... I'll top up there, get to about 90% or something, and then before we go down into Montenegro. So as I say, we're looking forward to it, setting off early in the morning. Well, I say early in the morning. We've got to get up, walk the garden. Now that takes 30-40 minutes. It's a big garden. So we'll do that. We'll water the garden, then we'll go off to Shawmash, stop for a coffee there, and then carry on with our trip. I'm really looking forward to it in one way. Really looking forward to seeing our friend. But I am a little bit apprehensive about the charging network. But we will see how it goes. Hopefully you'll stick with us and watch the video. If you enjoy it, please like and subscribe. It does help. And forward it on to your friends. Let them have a look. And if anyone's coming or driving down to sort of Croatia area or Albania, that sort of area, it may be even more interesting. But hopefully we'll try and get it interesting for you, not just charging and everything like that. We'll have a look at some other bits as well, some of the places that we stop, and hopefully it'll be an interesting video that you will want to like, and you'll be waiting for the next one. Cheers now. So we're back at one of the old favourites here, Shormash. It's spelt Sormas, S-O-R-M-A-S, but it's pronounced Shormash. 12 Tesla superchargers here. I need the CCS adapter. I'm Type 2, obviously the older Model S. And they've also got plenty of other chargers here. But there's 12 Tesla superchargers, there's 3 of us charging, so no problem. Oh, they've got some new ones as well, the Ionity, 4 faster Ionities there as well. It's a nice little stop this, although the hotel's a little bit on the pricey side. But we're only 1 hour into the journey. Now I could have avoided this stop if I'd have charged up at home, but as I say, I'm on free supercharging, so I might as well take advantage. It's directly on the route that we take down to Croatia. 1 hour in, go have a nice coffee for breakfast, and the car is saying we need to charge for 12 minutes, but we're going to be longer than that, so but 12 minutes is all that we need to continue our journey. Got a little petting farm here, I think. It's goats. You can just, they're all in the shade at the moment, under there eating. But not a bad hotel, not a bad little stop this actually, and it's just off the M7 motorway. So a nice coffee, and bought some sourdough bread. It's not as good as Karen's homemade sourdough bread, but we haven't got any with us, so we've got that. On 89%, we'll continue our journey, and it's already changed the charger that I need to get to next. So probably got about 2 hours 40 minutes, I think, to the next journey, to the next stop. So we've just pulled into a services because we need to get something out of the back of the car. But very interestingly, we've been going a bit slower than the speed limits due to roadworks and quite heavy traffic going down into Croatia. So the navigation on the Tesla was automatically removed the stop at Jastra Besko, I think it was Jastra Besko, and is now taking us directly down to Otokak. We should get there with around 13% charge, and instead of stopping for 20 minutes at one and 30 minutes at the other, we're just going to have to stop for 39 minutes at Otokak. So it's not bad. It makes it so it's a 3 hour journey down to get down there, just 3 hours 15 from where we set off. But we removed a charge, so we'll only have 3 stops today, hopefully. So we're on our way down to Otokak. Okay, now this is pretty weird. I've got to say, it's the first time I've ever had a problem with the Tesla navigation and charging. All the way down, even until about 5 minutes ago, it was showing on my navigation screen that there were 11 superchargers available here at Otokak. I don't know how it got that figure, because there are only 6 chargers, unless there are some in a different spot that I can't see. Now, we've been here before. It was incredibly busy. We had to queue, and the chargers are slow because they're shared chargers, so you only get half the rate, obviously, if someone's in the bays next to you. But why would it show 11 free when there's only 6 chargers here in the first place? Very odd. Luckily we got straight into a spot, otherwise I would have been miffed. But it's going to take us longer to charge than anticipated, probably around about 40 minutes, maybe even 45, simply because we're shared charging and it's going slowly. And just to prove I'm not going crazy, it says there, look, supercharger Otokak, 10 chargers available now. That's because I've taken one. It says there's 14 chargers available, or 14 chargers here and 10 available. Well, there's 6. I'm going to have a walk around, see if I can find some more. Don't want to go to Zadar, there's a queue there, and there's 3 available down at Split, but it is going to take me 45 minutes to get to enough charge to get to Split. So it's taken 42 minutes to get our charge here, which is a little longer than it was saying. mainly because everything's full and the shared chargers. But we've got 2 Belgian cars here, a Czech, a Hungarian, a Norwegian and a French. But more interestingly, I don't know what's going on here, but we're doing a load of work on this house. Now you won't want to stay in the house at the moment because they seem to be digging round it like a moat. I've no idea what's going on or if anyone actually still lives in there, but it all looks fairly new. The roof looks really good, but very weird. So I have no idea what's going on there. If you know, stick something in the comments. We've just been to the spa near the supercharger at Split. It says Split, but it's actually quite a way out of Split. But there's a spa nearby, a Lidl nearby, an XXXL supermarket, hypermarket type thing with cafes. There's a cafe on the corner. That building in front of us is a hotel. There's a cafe bar there. And I suppose if you really want something, you can even go to Shell Garage. So it's in the middle of an industrial estate. The only problem is it's very high usage charge station, so it automatically limits you to 80%. I think you can override that, but I'm not 100% on that. But it makes you to 80%, and if you overstay when fully charged, well, you've reached your charge limit, it's expensive. So don't do it. Yeah, the overstay charges are €1 per minute, so it can add up fairly fast, I would think that. If you just go to the shop and you get stuck looking at something. Okay, so it's just before 7 AM. The sun is rising over there. We lost 10% of the car battery last night. It went from 65% down to 55%. We had the air conditioning on and beautiful, kept just perfect all night. We didn't even bother putting the tent up. We just parked up, had the table out, wine, some food that we prepared at home, so we didn't have to cook anything, and into bed and had a good sleep. So see what today brings. But what a nice morning that is. Yeah. The camper stop we stayed at last night is called Camper Stop Biokovo. It's about 35 kilometres east of Split, slightly up in the mountains, not too much. Very quiet site. There's a little bit of road noise from down below, but not a lot. There was quite a few motorhomes here last night. Obviously there's tents, there was some motorcycle campers, cycling campers, the roof box tents, everything. So it's a nice little site. It's got very clean toilets and showers, so that's always a bonus. I hate it when you can't even look after the toilets. Shaded area if you want to come and eat your food here. There's no bar or no restaurant or anything, although they do sell beers from the fridge. And then again, you've got washing machine facilities, and you've got your washing up area. There's even a cooker in there that you're allowed to use. So yeah, Camp Biokovo, very nice. Okay, so we've driven 20 minutes or so from the campsite to the town of Imotski, and we're walking up to, what's it called? Topana Fortress, which overlooks the Blue Lake apparently. It was a very important fortress in its day, but it's 35 degrees. We forgot to bring our water, and it's a 15-20 minute hike from where we parked in town. Stupid mistake. Well, this is the Blue Lake. What's left of it, what hasn't drained away or evaporated in all this ridiculous heat. Normally quite deep and stretching much further apparently. Now, there is a red lake that you can drive to about 20 minutes away. I'm not going to bother. I don't think it'd be worth it if it's the size of that bloody thing. But anyway, it's been a good hike up. We've sweated galore, so now it's time for ice cream or coffee, or even a mixture of the two. So a little bit about this fortress. It was built in the 10th century. possibly on the site of a Roman fortress, and the reason was it looked over the Blue Lake and over that valley, so it was a very strategic and useful fortress apparently. Now the lake, when it's full, gets to 200 metres deep, but it does on occasion dry out completely, and when it does, the locals have a football match in the basin of the lake, and then the following winter it goes and refills and gets up to 200 metres deep again. Well, after our hike to the Topana Castle, or the Topana viewpoint, we're back. We went to the town of Imotski, had a beer in there, that was nice, and we're back at the campsite. As you can see, we haven't even bothered putting the tent up, it's just so hot. We're just trying to find shade. The tent would just be like a hot sauna. So we slept in the car last night, beautiful temperature, really comfortable. We'll do the same tonight before we get on our way, and we're going down to Montenegro tomorrow. As you can see, unfortunately Karen has to work while we're away, but someone has to pay the bills. So. Second morning, day 3. So, well, second morning on the campsite, day 3 of our trip. And it's 6:15, a bit earlier than yesterday, but we were in bed before just about 10 o'clock really. So 8 hours, didn't sleep all the time, but really comfortable night again. Nice temperature. At one point when I was awake, it was 24 degrees outside. We were at 21 inside the car, which was very comfortable. And my heart went out to the 2 couples who are sleeping in their SUVs on the same site here tonight, or last night. And they must have been bloody hot. That's all I can say. It must have been very uncomfortable. But anyway, hopefully they've had some sleep. We've had a good one, and we'll breakfast now, and then we'll get on our way to Montenegro. So we're just about an hour down the road from the campsite at the town of Vagorak. Tesla supercharger, 6 chargers here, type 2, got the CCS and the type 2 for connectors. Open to all vehicles. As you can see, there's a Hungarian plated BYD there. Quite a nice looking car, I've got to say. One of the second car park Teslas I've had to pay at. It's €1 door while you're charging, but it's not a bad little stop. And literally over the road there's a really nice coffee bar, nice little cake shop. The coffee bar doesn't sell cakes, but you are allowed to buy your croissants or whatever. We got croissants in the bakery next door, and had them with the coffee from the coffee shop. They've no objections to that. Not a bad stop. If you are heading from Croatia down towards Montenegro or Bosnia-Herzegovina or further down into Albania like us, you must remember that Vagorak is the final Tesla supercharger in Croatia. After that, it's find a charger and hope for the best. Just a bit of a heads up, if you are stopping for fresh fruit at some of these roadside stalls in Croatia on the road to Dubrovnik, I'd ask the prices first. We just got ripped off. 2 peaches, small bunch of grapes, €6.70. There's no prices displayed on anything. I think the roads must be pretty bad. It was 3 hours 14 minutes to get 90 kilometres. We should arrive in Budva with around 47% now, but that is some slow traffic. Okay. So we've managed to get turned round on a very narrow road, saving us a long detour. Then we turned into the wrong bit. We went to try and get on the ferry, but they said, no, you've got to get a ticket first. So we're in the queue for the tickets. There does seem to be quite a few ferry boats, so hopefully it won't be too long. The annoying thing is, there's no mention of ferry on the Tesla navigation. I don't know if there would be on Google, but it just says, come down this road. It doesn't say to a ferry. So we're on the ferry. As you can see, it's very busy, and there's like about 5 ferry boats going across, maybe even 6. Just a basic roll-on, roll-off ferry, and it only takes 5 minutes as opposed to about 40 minutes drive round, I think, 40-45 minutes. So we thought we'd just stretch our legs. and have a look here. It's only a 5-minute trip, as I say, but a bit of fresh air even though it is still 36 degrees. The system is pretty rubbish though. I mean, Tesla didn't tell me it was a ferry, so I avoided turning into the ferry terminal. The tickets you have to buy at a different spot to where you actually get on the ferry. Not far, it's only about 200 metres. And you can't buy them in advance or online, you've just got to wait till you're there and buy your ticket, and it's only valid for the one day, so you can't even buy one for the return journey. So after an extremely long day, that shouldn't have been as long as it was, quite stressful, we eventually got the charging and everything done. We're up to about 80% there, and we're at Camp Budva, which is literally in the centre of Budva town, through all little windy side streets. It's a very, very basic campsite, but it's cheap, and it's a 5-10 minute walk into all the bits of town. I would not like to be doing the journey into the campsite with anything bigger than a VW camper van. It would be pretty tight, and some of these look like they've been here about 30 years. But anyway, it's a bed for the night, it's cheap, and it's convenient for going out for a beer, which we're going to do now. I think that as we're only here for the one night, in a car, not putting the tent up, is put us up in the bit well out the way. There's some decent vans down here, and it's actually quite nice. And where that car's just going down there, you can just see at the bottom, that's the road, and 5 minutes you're into the town centre. Well, this journey's turned into a bit of a nightmare. We've been in a traffic jam now for over an hour and a half, and I don't know how far it goes or what the cause is, but it goes on as far as I could see over the bridge, which we're just about to go over, and that's quite a long bridge. So it could be another hour and a half, and there's no chargers around, which is a little bit of a worry. Cars pushing in left, right and centre, but look at the state of it. He can go in, I'm not going to fight with him. He looks like he's bashed his way through every bloody traffic jam going. But it's slow going, and I am getting a little bit of charger anxiety. Well, what a find. This was great. We've been in traffic for about 3.5 hours of traffic jams. Barely moved, but we've had the aircon on because it's 41 degrees. And we saw this Ford garage with a charging sign outside. So we've come in, yeah, you can charge. You have to pay cash, which luckily I do have some cash with me, but I didn't have, I've only got euros, not the Albanian money. And I think it's going to cost me a bit more over the odds, but hey what. They've got a charger here, that's all in Chinese. Mainly because they're getting a lot of Chinese in Albania apparently, and Chinese cars. And then the cars that we've got, it's as I say, Ford garage, so the Mach-E's are here. Electric taxis, the MG, our Tesla, another MG electric taxi. But the guy starts it for you with his own card, up to 160 kilowatt. I don't know what we're drawing at the moment, I can't actually see anything, but it's charging pretty fast. I'm well happy. Well, we've arrived at Sunset Camping at Golem, just south of Durrës. Karen's there in the water waving. Is there a shark? Beautiful. It's 41 degrees, it's roasting. But this is our pitch. There's the sea. There we are. All motorhomes around us, but we've got a frontline pitch. We wish we hadn't brought the big tent now. We've not used it, and I don't think we are going to use it. We do actually have a pop-up like changing cubicle. That would have been much better. Pop it up, put things in that we wanted to store, keep the pitch, and then we could drive off. Although that road in and out to the campsite is the only road, and it's bloody horrendous. So anyway, can't get much closer to the sea. I'm just going to get my trunks on and get in there as well. This is me stood in the sea at Sunset Camp at Golem in Albania. We're beachfront. Now we're not putting the tent up, it's 41 degrees at the moment, It's been 26 to 28 on an evening, so we have to sleep in the car with the boot down and the air conditioning on, which is just beautiful. Better than the motorhomes probably, they'll be roasting. And we're right here on the beachfront. There's a restaurant there. Coffees in the morning, opens early in the morning for breakfast or coffees, and it's open in the evenings, well, from lunchtimes onwards for meals all through the day. So it's really nice. The Albanians we've met so far have been great. The country, let's say Montenegro is a bit of a downgrade on Croatia, and Albania is probably a downgrade on Montenegro. But they are trying. The roads are absolutely appalling. We've grounded the car 2 or 3 times on the little back roads. It's just so potholed and bad. But overall, we're really enjoying it and we're liking the place so far. So this is why it's called sunset camping. I don't know if you can actually see that, but it looks beautiful in real life. But I don't know what it looks like on the film yet.